love it at that spot. You guys know. I don't know. I'd like to get little snippets there, but it's so loud, but I really like it. Hey, YouTube. So today, not much happened. I ended up having cereal this morning. And then for lunch, I finished off my biryani. And then I haven't ate anything since. But since I had the burritos yesterday, I've been really gassy. Oh, it's gross. Oh. But, yeah, nothing much really going on today. I sat and talked with Jess for a little while. That was nice. And I don't know, you guys got to see my memory map or memory grid thing yesterday. What'd you guys think of that? I thought it was pretty cool. Who doth I see under the door? Is that a merry dog? That is a merry dog paw. It is Mary Dog. She's just being a good girl sitting around. I've got 2 days of work left in the week. So Saturday and Sunday. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I still have that kimbap that I could probably eat tomorrow. That might be good, actually. That or falafel. I haven't decided which one. I do need to probably eat the falafel to, get rid of the everything hummus because it's getting kind of old and I don't want it to go bad. So I should probably do that tomorrow. And it's so fast. It takes like a minute and a half to make the falafel and then like a minute to do the pita bread because I just warm it up on the stovetop. And that's it. And it's like so fast. And then of course I just come in here and spread on the hummus. So yeah, I need to get some more hummus. I need to get some more juice. I don't know what else. Maybe and I need to get some chorizo. So I need to go to Vaughn's for that. Or Albertsons. But I don't know. Probably Vaughn's. But yeah, the Stater Brothers, where I'm at, doesn't have chorizo for some reason. Kind of weird. But I'm sure Vaughn's will have it. Vaughn's, there's always a Vaughn's. In every town I've been in, there's always a Vaughn's. It's kind of weird. And then Albertsons are sometimes around too. But I know in Highland there was a Vaughn's and Albertsons, I think. At least in Albertsons. And in Redlands, there's a Vaughn's and Albertsons and like 2 or 3 Stater Brothers. I don't know. Either way, I have to go on a shopping, trip. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. These are things that I want but don't need. And I keep going to McDonald's and picking up orders. And I keep seeing their sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffins. They have like a picture of it right where I'm waiting. And I'm like, I gotta make one of those tomorrow, I keep saying that. And then I'm like, I don't know. It takes a while. If I woke up on time. And what time is it? It's about midnight. I should go to bed here in a moment. But, yeah. ChatGPT, I think last week or the week before, said that in 2 weeks they were gonna, or in the coming weeks or whatever, they were gonna start releasing, they have a super app or something like that. They said that they were gonna release, and I thought it was this week. They said they were gonna release it, but they didn't release it this week. Maybe next week they're gonna release their new model, because I heard that 5.6 is coming out, and I heard that there's a new voice model, and it's a it's a bi-directional thing. So you can talk to it while it's talking to you. So it's bidirectional talking. So it's supposed to be really cool. I don't know, but I heard it's supposed to be cool. I'm wondering, because I use voice a lot. I talk to AI agents. There's one called Sesame. The app is called Sesame, and they have these two AI agents. One's called Maya and Miles, and they have Simone, and then another one. I don't remember his name, but yeah, those three are the ones that are really good. But yeah, I talk to them and brainstorm. Like I brainstorm my story that I want to start writing. It's another one's about a vegan that gets isekai'd into a world, and it's a game world, but everybody in the game world thinks it's real. So it's sort of similar to the Wandering Inn or a lot of the other GameLit / LitRPG game type of stories. So yeah, I really want to do that. I want to start writing it. And the cool thing is, the first person she meets is a living tree, like a talking tree-like character, and it leads her to a cabin, an abandoned cabin, and that's where she stays for the day or the night or whatever. And the tree person plants themselves next to the cabin. The main character can't talk to them anymore because they planted themselves. And what they're doing is, I was thinking of like having that the tree person or plant person. I haven't decided exactly if it's like a mushroom or not, but it's setting up a network of connections underneath the foundation of the area to take care of her. And her name is going to be Daisy, and she's a vegan chef, and it's going to be kind of like a cozy story about her. And well, kind of cozy, but I like a little bit of cozy, a little bit of danger, a little bit of everything like this. But I haven't written anything like this before. I did do less of a cozy, more of a kid's, slice of life thing where it's cute. And I wrote a whole book on that. That's my book Adrian, which I still haven't edited. I've really wanted to do that for this year. Release my book. Yeah, so this story is pretty cool. I was thinking of having, because this tree set up this network underneath the area, that any plants grown there have accelerated growth. So our main character thinks, oh, okay, I can, maybe some stuff is growing. Maybe she finds some wild blueberries or something. And then they're just like growing like crazy. And then she like eats them, and she comes back the next day, and some of the blueberries are really big, and she eats those. And then maybe a few hours later, she checks the plant, and a lot of the berries are missing. And then maybe she sees a radish. The radish, maybe she eats them or whatever, and then she leaves some of the radishes or whatever. And then maybe the next day she comes back, and then there's a radish that's walking around like a creature. Like, because I was thinking she's getting isekai'd into a world or whatever, and I was thinking that the plant, the tree thing, it actually makes it so after plants are overripe, they become sentient creatures, and then people can fight them or whatever for experience or whatever. But it would cause a huge dilemma in the mind of Daisy, though, because why? Because she's vegan and she's eating these plants. She's like, I was like putting myself in her shoes, and what would a vegan do in that instance where there are plants that are sentient, like these little same plants she was eating fruit from just a few days earlier. It's like suddenly those plants have sentient creatures or fruit, the fruit turned sentient. So it's like, were they suffering when she was eating them? Were they, and I would think she would probably have a small garden in front of the little cabin, and she would probably do all kinds of experimentation, because I would do a bunch of experimentation, like, when do these plants become these sentient things? And then she would only eat them before they become sentient, type of thing. So it was like, maybe she would be dissecting them, like, is this one, be all worried if it's, she would probably find the exact point of where it becomes sentient, and then only eat them before that point. And yeah, and you would, I think the tree person or whatever would recognize that she's doing that. Probably not a lot of people would ever do that, because they're probably always been used to, maybe they're used to, in that world there's always been sentient plants and sentient animals that they're eating, So it's like, there's a dilemma, a vegan dilemma in that. And I thought that would be a really cool thing to put in. And it would really put to test the actual vegan, just in general, the veganism as a concept, Of course, it would only be a little side thing. The main story would be about her cleaning up this cabin and cooking out of the cabin. And maybe people start showing up, and she starts cooking for them. And I thought that would be really cool. And then she would get levels and skill points to pause the growth of the plants around her, because that's her food source. Maybe she would only, I don't know, just like turn people onto not just veganism, just of plants in general, and spices and stuff like that. I don't know, it's kind of cool. Maybe she'd come up with like some poison scents, and because there would probably be a lot of plants that aren't normal for from Earth. Anyways, yeah, that's my idea for the story I kind of want to write. The problem is the story isn't really, it's not a part of my universe of the stories that I already wrote. So that's kind of frustrating, unless I kind of turn it into one, and I can see an avenue in which I do that. Because I didn't say, because in my my main book, I have a character that is reviving characters where they lost the information about them. Maybe they only have their first name, or maybe they have their full name, but they lost the paperwork on when the character or the person is supposed to be revived because they're cryogenically frozen. Maybe they have a whole group of them that they lost the paperwork for, and they don't know when to cryogenically unfreeze them. I don't know. I have a thing about that, and pretty cool. All right, you got to see me nerd out about writing and stuff, so yay! Anyways, I'm gonna go to bed. It is midnight now, so I do need to go to sleep. So I will see you all tomorrow, and you have a really great day.